Alright everyone, welcome to an episode of Crypto Dave. So what I'm going to show you today is how you can actually add some liquidity to Pancakeswap. So you can see here where I've got some already added. So if you do little drop down menus, you can see I've got a lot of pooled hair, but it costs very little bit of pooled BNB because this is a very cheap coin. You know, it's not very much, it's barely over a 0.00000. Whereas Safe Moon, I've only got a few of these, very few, compared to how much the pool BNB took, because this was a little bit. So remember, whenever you start liquidity, you always have to match that coin with another coin that you want to trade, whereas BNB is usually the good one. If you want Pancakeswap, maybe Cake, or if you really want to try and swap it with another coin, but you really would like to try and stick with the most common ones. If you really would like to just kind of look to see what the top pairs are, you can always go here. And then just remember these are your pools right here. So you can see right now that, like Cake and WBNB is really the top one because the WBNB is just, a wrapped BNB coin that's used to help just facilitate transactions. So you can see how these are all the top ones, and you can kind of scroll through them. See there's Safe Moon up there, which is, I've only got a little bit, but you can see it's got a lot of liquidity. So you can kind of just see what the top liquidities are. And if you really want to do some of these, I would suggest you need to have a lot to do it because you're going to make decent amount off the fees, but you got to have a lot because there's already a lot of money in these. So remember, you're only going to get your portion of the pool. So it's definitely much better to have a lot. But sometimes what I like to do is you can actually kind of go here to CoinGecko and you can find your, some of these new coins. So what we'll do is we'll look for one. So remember, since we're doing Pancakeswap, it does have to be the Binance chain. So we got to find one on the Binance smart chain. So let's take a look here. This one's doing pretty good. It's a bit pricey for me to match because I'm looking for a couple more zeros there because I don't really want to spend that much on this demo here to see it. But so here, this one's got a little bit of decent 24-hour change, and so it's probably got a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on here, and you can actually see if you want that it came out recently and it's starting to kind of give a little bit of uprise. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some liquidity to this one, and maybe hopefully catch some of these fees as it goes up and down, but remember, liquidity is more of a long-term hodl. You want to hold it for a while because that's the only way you're going to make money, and it's definitely better to have a lot than a little bit because you're looking for those fees. So basically, we're going to take the contract, and now what we're first going to do is we're going to go back over here. We're going to actually exchange. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and buy a few of these. So let's go ahead and pop in. There's many sheep there. Yes, we understand. We're going to import it in here. So now if we did max, that's, quite a bit, but we need to remember save some for the liquidity because we have to match this. So you can't just use all your BNB unless you plan to use them more or whatever you're going to match it, because you got to remember you got to still pull it. You got to pair it for the pool. So let's just go ahead and do. So we'll just do a little bit over 1 billion right there, and I like to just do that. I'm kind of the way I like to just buy a whole bunch of junk coins, just put in one and then 987645321 just to get a nice balance there. And then I don't like to really use a whole number at the end. I usually put some other kind of numbers at the end. All right, so now you do have to see, usually a lot of these coins, you are going to have a little bit higher slippage, so you just kind of keep it set to 12 right now. So let's go ahead and swap some of these. It's going to go pretty quickly, especially since I've got this. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and add it to my MetaMask just so I can have it stored there now. And we're just going to go ahead and give it a few seconds or a minute here to go ahead up. There it goes. All right, so now what we could do is we're going to go back to the liquidity here. And you can see, yeah, it's finding some more because it does. Just remember, the more liquidity you do add, a little bit longer it does take for these tokens to kind of be found. So sometimes it might take, a while for it, depending, especially if you're on an account that you have like hundreds of liquidity stacked up on these small tokens. So we're going to go down here, and remember, if you don't see your token, you can always do it here. Just remember, you're not importing the LP token, the liquidity pool token. You actually are going to import whatever token you want. So say if I was to import this one, I would actually put the contract for many sheep. But we don't need to import, we need to actually add it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add liquidity now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select our mini sheep that we just bought. So we're going to go ahead and max that out, and we're going to go ahead and do BNB. So now it's automatically going to tell us. Now remember, since this is a token that's already been out there, we can't establish price. This price has already been established when we bought it. So all we could do is just add more to that liquidity, because you wouldn't be able to add different price points because you don't want people competing on the same, sites and things. So that doesn't really work. So you're usually going to always see all these prices smash, because once the token is set by the owner, usually whoever adds it. Now, if you're really smart and maybe you steal a token somewhere, or someone sends you an airdrop and you add your own liquidity in the beginning, you might be able to set the price of a token if a new person, doesn't have it on some of these exchanges. So, but what we're going to do is, it's a whole different, video for another time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit max here, just make sure. So we got all of our mini Shiba that we just bought, and we're going to max it out. We're going to go ahead and do the approve here. So now we got to approve it. So yes. So basically, this is just like a signature saying, yes, you're going to go ahead and approve this transaction. So we got to wait for this to happen. And all right, so now they signed it. So you always want to wait. Don't keep hitting approve. Just wait. Give it some time here, depending on how busy the network is. It could take a bit more time. But right now it seems pretty slow because these transactions are going pretty quick. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and now supply it, because what we did first is we just signed the contract saying that yes, we want to give Pancakeswap the permission to access our contract and make this transaction for us. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually go ahead and pull from our contract, our wallet now, since we already gave that permissions, and now we're going to actually supply it. So now this is why a lot of people really like liquidity, because you can see right here on a lot of these sites how much liquidity you actually get. So by adding liquidity, you'll earn 0.01717% of all trades on this pair proportional to your share of the pool. Fees are added to the pool or accrue in real time. It can be claimed by withdrawing your liquidity. So, and then some of the coins have other clauses and attractions that may add it. Remember, there is some junk tokens and stuff that burn all the liquidity when you withdraw it. So you gotta be careful on that. I have bought some of these junk tokens, added all the liquidity when you went to withdraw it, and it was all burned by the contract. So just be careful. It's very risky, just like doing anything else. And now you gotta remember you're pairing it with another actual live coin. So we're going to go ahead and supply this. So now we're going to get a confirm. Yes, we are going to actually do this. So now I don't really add it because we can always import it. If you add this, you can't actually import it. So now let's just go ahead and wait. And there we go. So now we see that the transaction's gone through because we don't have any coins left in our wallet. We just got a little bit left over. So now you can actually see that we have our LP tokens in our wallet now. We own only a very small little bit of the pool. As you can see, I spent very little, but I bought a lot, and I barely own any of the pool, because hopefully you don't. If I was to own a ton of this pool, then you would definitely know that this is probably a rug pool scam or something. But the fact that I don't own a lot of this pool makes me own a little bit better. You'll earn your own share percentages and things that you like to match up here. So you can see now how many pooled mini Shiba I have with how many pooled BNB that I have to match. And that's pretty much all you have to do to add liquidity. Just remember, this is much more of a long term. You want to, you're not going to get rich doing this, but you might get enough to pay your electric bill, pay your mortgage, pay your rent, pay something like that. But it's not going to be rich, but it's definitely good for long term, just investments to make money off these fees as they go up and down. You don't really have to worry too much about the coin price. You're just worried about making those fees. All right, here we go. Thank you, everyone.